So I'm here with Chris from Zeema, and he's going to show me this Triumph. Chris will be able to tell you more about the year, the actual spec of the model, everything like that, but this bike is beautiful. I first saw it over at the Bike Shed show back in May. Chris was in the stand next to me, and I absolutely loved this bike, fell in love with this bike straight away. And figuring out that Chris lives so close to me, I thought, why not come over and actually have him talk through the bike and exactly his thoughts and why he did exactly like that. So, Chris, if you want to take me through logically from the front to the back?
Front to the back?
Yeah.
Work well. Actually, no, we'll go from the back to the front. So, yeah, I mean, we were just chatting before a little off camera, and it was, really see the main function of the bike was always the bike I built previous to this, which was, again, a Triumph Speed Triple. It was white with a wooden seat unit, and the guy who owns this bike, when he specified what he wanted, we had a chat about what it was going to be. It was always going to be very opposite to that one, so it was always going to be away from the white and the wood, so it was going to be black and it was going to be aluminium, and that's basically what this is, really. I think there's a lot of black and a lot of aluminium on it, so I don't know, I can't think of a word, really. It's just not futuristic. Some people say it's a bit Judge Dreddy, perhaps, but it was always going to be quite angular, almost quite basic in its form, really. But starting at the back of the bike, this is obviously where the oil cooler's mounted, which isn't particularly regular, but why not? So that's oil cooler on this side. It's an intake here which flows through and cools the oil cooler, which is a little design taken from old Lamborghini Countashes. They had quite obtuse, ugly in a way oil cooler ducts, which were very functional, and I think there's a lot of this bike which is very functional rather than aesthetically pleasing, but that's part of me and part of how I like things to be. So that's where that ended up, really, with that. It's cut very short to fall with the centre line on the rear axle. It's quite bulky. It's very, very similar to the old sort of 70s Kawasaki superbikes. So a big bulky tail unit, so some inspiration taken from that. And in the back, this is a cast resin tail light which is formed into the aluminium, and that's the tail light and brake light, and these are little marker lights and little indicators, so they're on all the time with the M unit bar ends, and then they cycle out as the indicators come on. The 10.5 is 1050, the 1050 Triumph Speed Triple. And then we kind of grace forward to the Alcantara seat. All this is all like units which all disassemble and come apart quite simply for ease of maintenance and working in motor racing. That's basically what we do a lot of, is taking things apart, putting it back together all the time. So then this first section is a fuel tank. It's about 10.5 litres, and it houses the electric fuel pump in there, is built into the bottom of it. The next section along is the airbox, and then the section at the front is where all the electronics are housed. In the airbox, this is the air filter here. It's the air filter panel, which goes through inside, and you can see through the top here is where the intake trumpets are. Probably not something to be looking at while you're riding along. So when you do actually sit on the bike, it is to the point that you can't see down to the trumpet, so to stop the rider getting distracted. Standard swing arm on the back, a few little mods on it just to sort of neaten things up. A standard hugger, again painted. It's got a nitron rear damper which was built for the customer for his weight and his height, to sort of get rid of the standard unit, which is a bit bulky and a bit not too pretty.
Is this sort of subframe here, is that all custom as well?
Subframe is all completely custom. We tried utilising the original subframe to try and keep it a little simpler, but it just can't be done. So this is all completely custom. There's the two rails up here which pick off the original frame mounts, comes up into a small hoop in the back. Two fasteners hold the seat unit on, that comes off. Two connections to the oil lines, one plug for all the electronics. That all comes off as a piece, and another piece, and another piece. And like I say, these are three separate units which held on with one bolt. Remove the glass lid, get to the battery, the engine ECU, the M unit, all the electrical gubbins is in there, which has got two military spec 50 pin connectors underneath here. So you can simply disconnect those and take off the whole electronics unit from the bike without disconnecting loads of bits and pieces of cable. It's a completely custom wiring loom, and like I say, it does run its ECU and its M unit blue. So being a 2016 bike, we bought this, it's only done 19 miles, the customer was really keen to have a new undamaged chassis and engine, so that's what we did with that. But that led to a few issues with the electronics on the basis that this bike obviously came with ABS, it comes with a CAN system, and it also comes with an immobiliser, which without the clocks, as you can see this bike doesn't have any clocks, the bike won't run. We started from scratch with that. This is a 2016, so it's a pre-fly-by-wire throttled engine. It's actually the same engine, give or take a few dressing points, covers bits and pieces, as has been on the Triumph 1050 for the last 10-12 years. So we went back to a pre-2007 engine ECU, which doesn't have an immobiliser, and we started with that. Put a wiring loop together to make sure it all ran properly. It did, so all the sensors and electronics, after searching through hours of parts catalogues to make sure that all the components are the same. Put the ECU on it, built a rough wiring loom, got it all running, made sure it all ran, everything worked great. Then commissioned a wiring loom, so designed and drew the wiring loom, and there's a company over in Hull, GG Motorsport, who do a lot of my electronic stuff. They built the wiring loom for us. It's all military and motorsport spec. It's all rake end and Milcon connectors, so it's all completely waterproof and lightweight. So that's that side of it really. So this bike then runs the M unit blue, which powers the ECU and all the relays, and it's got the M button and the M lights and lots of M things I can't remember the name of. But it basically works from your phone. You pop your phone on the little holder down here in the front. The M unit blue inside the box recognises your phone, turns the bike on, double tap on the start button, and away you go. As I said before, this one doesn't have any clocks, so what we've done on this is we've used a OBD Bluetooth dongle, which basically plugs in the original diagnostic port of the Triumph ECU, and it transmits all the engine data from the ECU to an app on your phone. So you simply put your phone on there, Bluetooth on, speaks to the M unit blue, bike turns on, start the bike, and then the engine ECU transmits all the data to the phone, and that's where your clocks and gauges are. So we can phone on there, about 5 seconds it should wake up, there you go, it's powered up, and then scroll through to the app, it'll attempt to connect. There you go, still taps, the ignition's on now, if it's running, it's attempting to connect. There you go, it's battery voltage, engine cooling temperature, it's RPM, vehicle speed, it's all transmitted completely wirelessly. If you were to lose your phone, or your phone be flat or whatever, there's a USB charging point here which is always live even with the ignition off, so you can charge your phone up if you've got it it's flat. Obviously there's the ignition, the RFID tag here for the M unit, so if you didn't have your phone you can carry the RFID tag and you can start the bike that way. Some of the information that you can't get across on your phone, obviously we have some little lights in here. So inside the trumpets we've got a neutral light, we've got an oil pressure light, press the right button. We have, oops, turn the indicator off. There we go, there's a main beam light in there as well. Double tap again, turns the bike off, app closes, take the phone away, put it, turns itself off in 5 seconds like the M unit blues do, which I think is an amazing piece of kit, the M unit. It's the M switch, which we did use, so we use the button packs here, and then we've got a little module inside the handlebars. Is an amazingly genius piece of kit, but I would probably never install one again, having spent about 4 days building the handlebars. It is very akin to wallpapering your hallway through your letterbox, so yeah, but very neat, with all that on there, it does look very well. So from that side we fitted some rental fat bars, we've got the M unit indicators on the end there. We use some rental levers as well to neat things up. These are the ones that you can throw down the road and they fold in different directions, all adjustable, a custom span. So we use the original headstock with the original top yoke, which mounted in the little USB charger there, and mounted on. What we're actually using is I forgot the name of it, is a quad lock mount for a quad lock case to put on your phone. Then into the front, we I spent many hours staring at the front of this, trying to decide what we're going to do with the front of it. And yeah, came up with these units. These are basically Hella lamps. This is a single projector beam, which is a dip beam, and this is a wide angle LED working lamp, which is incredibly bright. So very useful while riding at night, and a very good directional headlamp on the bottom as well, which works well. There's the mudguard. Just yeah, I mean, for me personally, I'd like a bike without a mudguard, but the customer definitely wanted mudguards, so that's we're going with something quite simple on that. We also have, there's a second variation on that as well, which is a black mudguard with an aluminium fin for here, because we mocked up two, so we thought why not. And then down to the Ionic wheels, which are obviously front and rear, which quite stand out on these, on the single-sided swinging arm. They're a very nice creation. The other bike we built previously has them as well. They were a Barani rim, but the company Ionic used to make the components for Barani, and so managed to source these through Ionic, and they are, yeah, a beautiful, beautiful thing. Not particularly light, they're not a performance enhancing wheel, whereas people may go from aluminium and magnesium to carbon fibre. These are quite heavy, but they are a very beautiful thing, and I don't think that most riders on the road would notice the difference in the weight on those. We've got some Michelin tyres on there, which just seem to be quite good at the moment. Nothing too aggressive. The customer is telling me he is going to ride it in the rain, which I'll be quite mortified if he does, but hey, you know, it's his bike and that's what they're built for, and if he wants to do that, then good on him. Another little touch was the radiator, built by a guy down in Gloucestershire. Absolutely amazing radiator guy. His fabrication skills, as you can see, are absolutely stunning. And then we started off with an Arrow exhaust system, just the original kind of aftermarket Arrow exhaust system we got from Triumph, and 3-into-1 utilised those headers. And then we went to Race Fit to John over in Derbyshire, and he built us a lovely little titanium underneath underslung silencer. Got a few just nice little touches, just some little crash protectors just in case it falls off its stand, or he has a little slide down the road to try and protect things on it, as everything is pretty bespoke on it. So just to try and sort of get a little bit more life out of everything with that, really. Custom lines, custom cables, so back to all the custom electronics underneath. Yeah, little paddock stand to match and gloss black we made for him. And yeah, that's pretty much it really.